Yo, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another WoW Classic video. It's been a while since we've just talked in earnest and connected and talked about life and hardcore and everything like that. My recent streams have been a bit impersonal. I've just been playing in various events and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be a good idea to just press record, no script or anything, and just talk about things, catch up. I hope all you guys are doing well, of course. But yeah, let's get right into it. So, I mean, I guess the first thing I want to talk about is WoW Classic. Thinking about the current state of it, the future, the past. I think Wrath is in an interesting spot. I think it's done well so far. Probably had more participation than TBC for a bit. Now, Ulduar's launched, and people seem to be enjoying that a lot as well. But I also do think that Wrath... I think people miss vanilla. And I don't think it's because of hardcore. I think it's just like a timing thing. Enough time has passed. TBC had not enough time had passed, right? When they launched SOM, vanilla was pretty still fresh in people's minds. And TBC was something very different. And people weren't ready to go back, but I'm seeing it everywhere, man. We're at a point in Wrath where it does feel kind of unrecognizable to the original classic experience. And I don't want to sit here and doom and gloom on Wrath all day, but it's just an observation. I feel like people are wanting to go back home again, wanting to go back to vanilla. And despite Ulduar being like a very solid raid, I don't know how much staying power it has. And people are going to say, of course, ICC is something people are going to really look forward to. There's a lot of nostalgia. There's a lot of hype for that. It's probably true. I mean, I think people do want to do ICC, but at least in my experience, what I've seen in vanilla and TBC and various private servers, usually like the last raid of an expansion. I know it's technically not the last raid. The last raid's like Ruby Sanctum or something, but it's not. ICC is kind of, for all intents and purposes, the last raid. By the time you get there, people are already thinking of the future. They're already feeling like the server is on its way out, or the next thing's coming. You've already lost a lot of the players who have fallen out of the pack. So yes, for sure, like ICC is an awesome raid, but the same thing happened with Sunwell, right? Same thing happened with Nax and Vanilla. I think there's that. So the future is unknown for Classic WoW. I don't know what you guys think. Definitely leave me your thoughts down in the chat. Most people think they're going to do Classic Kata, and I don't think Blizzard is going to leave money on the table. So, gun to my head, I think they will do Classic Kata. Do I think it's the right call? Do I think is it what I want for WoW Classic? Definitely not. I think you're in once you do Classic Kata, you're in very weird territory. Classic WoW starts to not make sense anymore. You're dealing with that post Cataclysm world. It just makes a lot more sense to keep it to the trilogy. There's something special about a trilogy to the old world. And what I'd like to see them do with WoW Classic instead is to continue to iterate on the ecosystem they have right now with vanilla, with Season of Mastery and Era, where you have Season of Mastery where you try cool things, do a few tweaks here, try to adjust gameplay, add like a flavor of a year type of thing. With SOM, they had bonus XP rates, they made flasks proc, they had harder mechanics, they made some custom mechanics, and then SOM ends and you have the off season where you can go back to the original 1x values, back home, to Bloodsail or Mankrik or wherever you play. I enjoy that dynamic, and I hope that they do a Season of Mastery for both TBC and Wrath, as well as Era servers for them, and that ends up being the classic ecosystem. Because there are definitely people that will play those versions of the game, not even mutually exclusively. Like, there are people who are classic WoW gamers, like they might play the TBC server, Wrath server, and Vanilla server of Season of Mastery. It's possible. And there's, yeah. Another direction they could go is to just do like a more ambitious Classic Plus, where they horizontally expand as opposed to vertically. I forgot the exact term for it, but like, let's say, they added a new BEG in Najara, added new quest hubs, added a new raid, some new dungeons. The thing I'd want them to not do, which is a hot take, honestly, is I really wouldn't want them to touch the classes. I feel like the classes and the talents and stuff are what defines the game the most. And 112 classes are in a pretty good spot, man. I know that's going to be another hot take, and you think, red pallies, enhancement shamans, the meme specs are in a really bad spot, but it's really not just about rating, right? When you factor in the totality of the game, PvP, rating, open world PvP, dueling, twinking, leveling, you factor really everything in. There's reasons to love and get behind every class and spec, I do believe. But yeah, man, I don't know if it's just me, but just reading the room, I see on Reddit, on YouTube, on all the platforms, people are yearning to go back home. People, like, there's a love and passion for vanilla that's brewing once again. Enough time has passed where people do want to go back home. They think about how cool the items were, how beautiful the zones were, how simple it is. I would venture to say that probably most of us haven't felt as connected to the game as they did during vanilla. And it's really just the world. It's just the world, man. The game gives you a reason to be out in the world. So yeah, just to reel it back in here a bit, I think they will do classic kata, but I think that's going to be the end. I think that'll be, the player base will be at minimally acceptable levels, and they'll just wrap it up after kata. I do think there's a shot they do the right thing and they just keep it as a trilogy and double down and iterate on the first 3 versions of the game. But we'll see how it goes. On the hardcore front, I think hardcore is in a really interesting position as well. The community has grown a lot in the recent weeks. I don't know if you guys have felt it. I certainly have. There are more people playing hardcore now, probably, than even during Road to Rag. There are 7 leveling guilds on Alliance, on Bloodsail, and those are just the air quotes official guilds. There's now 4 or 5, unofficial hardcore guilds, which I think is badass personally. I'm not gonna lie to you. Our cross guild chat is pretty weird. There's a lot of weirdos for sure. Like, it's a big community and it's not really gate kept. Anybody can join at any time and come play and stuff like that. So you're definitely gonna get some bad apples, and we do what we can to try to keep it chill in there, but it's only so much you can do, right? So I don't blame people for wanting to splinter off and make their own hardcore guild subsets and stuff like that. And everyone's playing by the same rule set at the end of the day, so it's all good. EU servers are popping off as well. Ton of players over there. We have a lot of events going down. We have Cheesy and Samwise and Stonecoat and Not a Cop. They did that Makara recently, which is so fun. I played in that one. Calamity spearheading other PvP events as well. She did a hardcore war song last week, and I played in that. It was also really fun. More fun than everyone expected. Now she's doing an AB this week, which if I have time, I'll play in that one as well. And then we have this Hardcore All-Stars League coming up, which Grays, Only Black Smoke, Sarth, Tyrannosaur, myself, a lot of us came together on that as well. Grace had that awesome vision for the dungeon drafts, which have been really fun. I don't know if you guys have seen those live. We did an RFC one and a WC one, where essentially everybody, it's fresh in a bottle, it's canned fresh. You roll a fresh character, you race up to a target level, and there's a level cap to prevent the sweaties, the speedrunners from getting too far ahead. And you draft up an impromptu team and race through the dungeon. That's been incredibly fun, and it's almost been like an esports type of play for WoW, which is another thing I'll just give a small hot take on as well. I see a lot of people, they hear the E word, esports, and they think, I don't know where this negative stigma comes from, man. I love esports. I love watching StarCraft growing up. I absolutely loved watching Hearthstone and Dota and some of the greats, CSGO. I absolutely love esports. I think there's nothing wrong with it, I think for sure if something gets too corporatized or there's too much money involved or whatever, you can lose a lot of the passion and love for the game, and it can become bad. I agree, but I don't think it's inherently a bad thing just because something is has competition or stakes. So that triggers something in a lot of people's minds where they immediately think poorly of it, and I'm not sure why. But yeah, turning hardcore kind of into a skill set to a certain capacity for these events has been a ton of fun, and I think we're at a turning point with that where we're finding some formats that are really cool. So we have this Hardcore All-Star League, which is 11 weeks, 10 live events, 5 of which are those dungeon drafts. We have RFC, WC, and Dead Mines. Next one's on Feb 25. I'm hosting that one. And then we have this world tour that only Black Smoke was. It's kind of his brainchild, and him and Ampi and Tactics and a lot of the the Galaxy Brain people came together and refined the rule set on that, which is pretty cool. The TLDR with that is you sign up with a team of 5 or 6 and you level up. And you get together and you speedrun some dungeon circuits. There's 5 of them. So the first one's like, WC, SFK, Deadmines, I think. And then like the final one is, LBRS, Skolo, Dire Maul. Just, one dungeon from each of the color palettes of the world. And it's like 18 total dungeons. That should be a lot of fun as well. So I think hardcore's in a good spot with regard to that. I also think with regard to server health and stability, we've recently put together an HC Defense Guild, because that right-click report feature in game, I don't think it does anything. Peo said it the other day. It's basically just cosmetic. It doesn't really do anything. Blizzard doesn't have any GMs. I think Tactics told me it takes them 6 months to respond to a ticket. So we just had to help ourselves and try to do our best as players to safeguard the server and make sure people are having a good time and stuff like that with the griefers and stuff. And I think it's worked pretty good. It's brought a lot of us closer together. Spending a lot of time together, cleaning up dwarves in the mountain, killing Teramis, Volchan, Hematos, all that stuff. So shout out to like Kapora, Calethea, Reeves, Jordy, Oradar. The list goes on and on. A lot of those guys have been putting in time, not playing hardcore characters so they can try to help everybody else out. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. So that's been good. I feel like we've hit a turning point where we are able to pretty much cut down on the griefing massively. We've also made some updates to the add-on where like infernal griefing and certain blacklisted griefers won't trigger the death alerts anymore, which is dope. EU communities is in a really good spot, I think, too. They cleared Naxxramas on Watlaka, so big grats to them. This week they did that. HC Elite on Bloodsail, which is the endgame raiding guild for hardcore. They're pumping. I used to think a few weeks ago it was a little bit I don't know, gate kept or something like that. They weren't that welcoming to new players, but I feel like that's shifted a bit. I feel like there is a lot of people hitting 60 and they're taking them in with open arms, running them through dungeons, and they're doing ZG. They did some MCs recently. I think they're doing well. But yeah, I think hardcore's in a good spot. I think we're in a good trajectory right now, and I just, for whatever it's worth, I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna give 100% to the community until we do get hardcore servers, and I'll put down the mop and the bucket and the broom and no longer be a Janny. But I've been catching a lot of heat recently. For various reasons, I don't know. There's people look to someone to blame for stuff, and I'm happy to absorb that best I can. But obviously, just know I'm not the one griefing people and stuff like that. There's like 5 hardcore copycat. There's like 5 copycats of my name on the server right now. But yeah, it's been a really fun ride, guys. Like Classic WoW has been a ton of fun. It's been 3-4 years now, and I met so many cool people, done a lot of great things. It's been an amazing experience. We put some of the best years of our life into this, and there's no take backs. We're on that IRL hardcore challenge. There's no second go. So I don't regret it. I feel like it's just been a ton of fun, and do a lot of cool projects. I met like my business partners through this. Shout out to Tactics and Tommy and Brandon and all them, and we've done a lot of great work. And we're launching a site for Dark and Darker soon, and we launched the first database for it, and we're doing that amongst other projects, and that's been really great. I'm super proud of Grays, who's been growing his stream like crazy, and a lot of people are growing. I'm happy for him. Guzu. But yeah, the future is uncertain for WoW Classic. We'll see how it goes. I guess with regard to Dragonflight too, I don't think people have turned on Dragonflight like they've turned on Shadowlands and BFA. So it feels like it's going down as a solid expansion so far, which is a good thing. It means WoW's doing well overall. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else comes to mind. I guess an IRL update. Things are going good in real life. I mean, I'm happily married, 3 years, going on 4. Got my baby daughter. She's a super happy baby, running around like crazy, going to daycare. Started getting back into fitness again, playing tennis, playing pickleball. I never thought I'd see the day I play pickleball, but I've been enjoying that. I'm in a league, a weekly league. Things are good. I mean, I have an existential crisis every morning, which I'm sure most of you guys do as well, considering how fast the years are flying by. You know, that expression, the nights are long, years are short, couldn't be more true. But if that's the worst of your problems, you're not really in a bad spot. So I just want to thank you guys for all the love and support over the years. If you made it this far in the video, I'm sure you're one of the OGs who's seen all the arcs. And I think we still have a couple of years ahead of us. But yeah, this weekend we're doing a Dark and Darker tournament as well on the Rested XP Live channel, Twitch channel. A lot of classic Andy's playing in it. Peo, Jokered, Stay Safe, or not Jokered, sorry. Guzu, Peo, Stay Safe. I think Graze is playing it. I might play in it. I think I might be doing production though. And Dark and Darker looks like a really fun game. So we have that coming up. The league is, coming up starting February 25th, 11 weeks, like I said. And yeah, just a little update from my side. I appreciate you guys. Enjoy the good times while they're here. And I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.